Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and we are deep into the den of the Bitcoin Maxi trolls. Oh my gosh. There's a journalist in the world of crypto media. Her name is Leah Heilpern, and she wrote an innocent enough a tweet today, just several hours or so ago, which reads as follows. Why is XRP an emotional topic on crypto Twitter? I have never understood. Well, I can tell you in a nutshell why that is. Look, people are tribal animals, and I get that. And it's mostly Bitcoin maxi troll types that live under bridges that get really emotional about XRP because they're the down with banks, down with the government individuals by and large. And they see XRP as the banker's coin, right? And then they talk out of both sides of their mouth. They're like, banks will never use XRP. And then they say, XRP is the banker's coin. Okay, thank you, enlightened one. Banker's coin. Banks will never use XRP. Okay, thank you, Bitcoin Maxi troll. Calm down. It's going to be okay. But the bottom line, as far as why people are doing this, it's part of their freaking ideology. Look, people get offended by ideas that are different than their own. Usually, I mean, they can happen for a number of reasons, but typically I see it in people. I've got 37 years under my belt as a human on this planet here. It happens when people, you could be nice and say it's because they care about something. Well, the truth is, it's part of their ideology. And it gets to the point for some of these people. It's not about facts. It's not about what reality, is. And it's not about following a logical path to come to reasonable conclusions. It's, here's what I want, here's my worldview, bam. So that's the answer for that. And it resulted in so many Twitter threads here that I'm going to be sharing with you. We're going to have a blast on this video here. Let me assure you of that. There's so much nonsense. And then you've got XRP community member Matt Hamilton. He's at Hammertoe on the Twitters. He's swatting these Bitcoin maxi trolls down like flies, and they keep murmuring all over the place. They make that murmur sound because that's just what they do. They're weird. You can tell, like as he's typing, they're just like Bitcoin. And so he's just swatting now. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And also, if you are a fan of Bitcoin maxi trolls getting swatted down, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. You will be in good company. By the way, shout out to Dakota Shipley. I wanted to highlight this. In a video the other day, I said somebody should make a Hodl your ODL shirt. And so Dakota Shipley responded with this and wrote, Moon Lambo, per your video on July 2nd, 2020 about there being a Hodl the ODL t-shirt, there is one, and I've had it for a few months now, preview. And so here's a picture of it. And that is, I got to tell you, that is a solid-looking shirt. I don't know where you got that, but I do like it. The one that I was envisioning is a little bit different, but still, that shirt is very fly, my friend. I wanted one that actually said, Hodl your ODL, but awesome shirt regardless. And even Kevin Cage, my fellow XRP YouTuber, he responded and wrote, fresh, with 3 H's, which is why I said I like that. Indeed. So anyway, thank you very much. Shout out to you, Dakota Shipley. And this is Leah Heilpern, for those of you that are not familiar. And I think it was her that actually interviewed Matt Hamilton. I could swear it was her. There was this awesome interview where she was, if it was her, she was asking all sorts of legitimate questions. She's certainly not a troll. And Matt Hamilton just had an opportunity to unleash all sorts of awesome information. But I'm pretty sure it was her. Anyway, so here's where we go. So again, here's the tweet from Leah Heilpern. Why is XRP an emotional topic on crypto Twitter? I have never understood. And by the way, also, the way Twitter works, these threads, unfortunately, they can kind of splinter off. And so I've got a few tabs open on this first thread, and there's going to be probably a little bit of overlap, so I might repeat a couple of these as I go to a different tab to continue to the thread which splintered off. So I'm going to do my best to avoid that, but apologies up front if you hear me reading a couple of these more than once. That is why. I'm doing my best here, though, I promise. So somebody named NB Deagle wrote, but what didn't make sense to me is that Ripple and XRP are two different things. Ripple could be very successful in selling its tech to central banks, but there was no reason for the banks to use the XRP token. To me, XRP was a demo, and a lot of people lost money over it. Now, of course, we know that's completely nonsensical. XRP Because if you want to solve the Nostro Vostro problems in the world today, the only solution that humans have devised to this point requires the utilization of a cryptocurrency that is decentralized, so nobody has special permissions over it, and also has an open market price, meaning that it's getting traded by humans on exchanges. And that's it. You have to use that. It cannot be a centralized solution. It can't be a stable coin. It can't be a bank coin. It can't be a central bank digital currency. It has to be a cryptocurrency that is decentralized and has a market value. And XRP happens to be the only cryptocurrency that meets that criteria that is actually being positioned for this use case. So this individual is way off base, thinks that he's enlightened clearly, and I'm not saying any of this to be mean. I want to be super clear. I love diversity of thought, but it's very clear he is illustrating actual ignorance on this, and that's how you get comments like that. And so he got a response from Straight Up XRP here, who, oh, by the way, he's the one that brought this to my attention. Oops, I need to go back. I didn't mean to click on it, but I am going to give you a follow, good sir. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. So Straight Up XRP wrote, other than XRP, there is no other technology that Ripple has that allows payments to settle in about 3 seconds, case closed. And then NB Deagle, thinking that he's the enlightened one, responded with the following. See, this guy is a perfect example of how people don't understand the difference between the technology the blockchain is built with and the blockchain itself. And there you go. He is illustrating his ignorance while thinking that he's pointing out the actual ignorance, or the perceived ignorance anyway, of Straight Up XRP. Couldn't be more wrong. And it's just head in the sand moment. You gotta love this. And this is where Matt Hamilton jumps in and he wrote, so what are you suggesting they would use instead of XRP to settle payments then? NB Deagle responds, excuse me, why would central banks need to use XRP to settle payments? And I'm actually not sure why he jumped to central banks. It could be, look, anybody that wants to convert money from one fiat currency to another, that's who can utilize XRP. Even if they don't know XRP is getting used, it can be used in the background. So I don't know why I brought up central banks, but Matt Hamilton responded, how else are they going to do it other than the current Nostro Vostro system? NB Deagle responded, are you promoting that XRP will be used by everyday people for everyday transactions? And again, I don't know where that came from either. That was not in the conversation. And people don't actually have to, like some do. It's just like a tiny fraction of a percent of people use Bitcoin. A tiny fraction of a percent of people could use XRP in place of fiat currency. That particular use case, not too thrilling to me. Now, XRP is getting used for reasons other than just as a bridge currency, which Matt does bring up in just a moment here. But as far as will people use it for everyday transactions, I love the point that Brad Garlinghouse made that on the retail side. It's what's the use today? Like, what problem are you actually solving? He effectively stated that when he was being interviewed by somebody. I think it was somebody from Fox News Business back in September. I think he was at the Economic Club of New York, I want to say. And making that point, I was just like, yes, exactly. Here's the cool thing. People are going to speculate on just about anything, whether it's gold, whether it's a cryptocurrency. People speculate on all sorts of different stuff. And you can't stop it. You're not going to stop it. You shouldn't stop it. It would be wrong to attempt to stop it. But since it's happening, absolutely, that creates liquidity. And all we're saying is, since that's going to happen regardless, that liquidity might as well get used to move money around the planet. It's not that complex. People don't have to use it beyond that. They don't have. Now, some do, but you don't have to for XRP to have legitimate value. This guy who thinks that he's enlightened is not enlightened. He is missing the point completely. Matt Hamilton responds, that is not the point I am asking here, no. The point I am asking you here is, how will Ripple customers settle transactions cross-border if not for XRP? NB Deagle responds, can you share an XRP transaction you've made today, or maybe even this week? And then in parentheses he writes, exchange traded, not counted. And Matt Hamilton responded, sure. I don't think NB Deagle was expecting this, but he wrote, sure. Below are the payments I've received this afternoon from having web monetization enabled on my blog, YouTube videos, Coil, Cinnamon, etc. He's got a screen grab here. And NB Deagle responded, these are payments for supporting transactions. Do you have a transaction for goods/services that everyday people would make? So there you go. Apparently that's not good enough. So what's he getting at when he says that? What's NB Deagle actually getting at? He's talking about XRP being used in place of money. Why is that a requirement? That is a stupid use case today. It's not a pain point for most people. Why is that the requirement? Why is that the requirement? That is the stupidest damn position. It really is here. Really grinds my gears. I'm getting all hot and bothered here. Bitcoin Maxi trolls. And this is where Straight Up XRP tagged me and wrote, "Look at this, make him famous." Well, Straight Up XRP, I am doing my best. We'll see how many views this video gets. I appreciate you tagging me, though, because I read this and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect content for a video. This is too fun, too interesting, genuinely interesting to not share with everybody here. I love these types of threads. It's a lot of fun here. Anyway, NB Deagle responded, "Do you have anything else of value to add?" Straight Up XRP wrote, "Yes, if I was you, I would delete everything you wrote. It makes you look extremely ignorant and unintelligent." I would agree that it legitimately makes him look ignorant, and I always like to clarify, a lot of people use ignorant as a pejorative in the United States, at least, and I'm not using it in that sense. I'm using it in the literal sense, which is he does not know. That's the definition. He is unknowing, but has opinions. Is all sorts of opinions. That's why in life, like, I hate being in that position where, like, I have an opinion, and then I find out I'm wrong. Like, and if I am, I'll still just admit it, because that's the best thing to do, and you can keep being correct. But I know people don't like being wrong. But one of the best things you can do to avoid that is say, "I don't know." Just say it. If you don't know, it's okay to say, "I don't know." You don't have to have all the answers. And if you think something may be the case, rather than say, "I know this to be true," say, "I suspect this is." You could say, "I suspect this is the case, but I don't know for sure. And even though I lean that way, it could be the case that's not so." Why can't people just do more of that? Instead, this guy clearly is not educated, and he has these definitive statements that are just completely nonsensical, and it's silly. I don't care what the topic is in life. This is exactly the type of behavior that I do not engage in. I'd rather just say, here's what I think at this moment in time based on my current understanding, based on all of the available evidence I've seen, and I'm willing to have my mind change if he presents something that's factual. That would lead me to think it's more logical to believe something different is more likely. That's not the route this guy's going. And that's what you get from these Bitcoin Maxi trolls that sound like this. I live on the bridge. I live under my bridge. I'm Joe. I live under my bridge. Stay warm by my garbage fire in a barrel. And when I get hungry, I have my favorite meal, which is room temperature cottage cheese. I get excited for the cottage cheese at room temperature. And that's what they all sound like. They're all eating a bunch of room temperature cottage cheese. That's how they sustain themselves. That is the sustenance required for Bitcoin Maxi trolls. And then Straight Up XRP wrote, "You can look back in 2 years and see what kind of idiot you are." And B. Deagle responded, "I predict your account will be gone and XRP's value will be less than half." Straight Up XRP, I like this. At Remind Me tweets in 2 years. So this will be brought up in 2 years, and we will be reminded, and we will see. So hopefully 2 years from now I catch this so I can report back on it. That is a lot of fun there. Okay, so now the thread splintered off. Let me go a little bit lower here. Here we go. I think I need to go a little bit lower. Can you share XRP? Sure, below are the payments. Oh, yeah, okay, so MB Deagle wrote, "Can you share an XRP transaction you've made today, or maybe even this week?" Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry, that is part of what I covered. I'm doing my best here, guys. I knew there's going to be a little bit of overlap. Okay, here you go. And then he wrote, so as far as the transactions, check this out. Matt Hamilton wrote, "And if it counts, here's a system I was working on today that pays software developers in real time for their commits to repositories." And then it's on the screen right there. And B. Deagle responded, "I like the idea of getting paid the instant the work is done." Yeah, and Coil, how about that? And Matt Hamilton wrote, "Yup, streaming micropayments are great. Go look at webmonetization.org. It is all open standards. You could get paid in Bitcoin too if Bitcoiners actually stop pretending the rest of the world doesn't exist." I love that. MB Deagle wrote, "These are payments for supporting transactions. Do you have a transactions for goods/services that everyday people would make?" Matt Hamilton responded, "Yes, those are transactions for everyday goods and services. Every time someone with a web monetization enabled browser visits my blog or YouTube channel, etc., then I get paid in XRP." And B. Deagle says that's another dodge. Look, it's getting paid for a service, man. And I still argue that if it has to be a transaction like you're buying a Coca-Cola, with your XRP, if that's your standard, that's stupid. That just doesn't make any sense. And so he says it's another dodge. Matt Hamilton writes, "Dodge how? You asked me if I've made any XRP transactions today. I told you I had and showed you the streaming payments I received through content monetization." MB Deagle wrote, "You showed me a screenshot of microtransactions for supporting transactions." Matt Hamilton responds, "Yes, I sent you through a screenshot of a bunch of transactions of XRP I have received today, which is what you asked me if I had." MB Deagle wrote, no, I'm looking for transactions that demonstrate an exchange of goods/services between two parties, XRP for food, XRP for electronics, XRP for remittance. There you go. And Matt Hamilton wrote, yes. And MB Deagle wrote, I guess you can procure that from Interledger. And Matt Hamilton responded, yes, I get paid via the Interledger network. So, for example, if you go to this blog post and scroll down, you won't be able to see all the content unless you have web monetization enabled. And then MB Deagle wrote, that's like me showing you on my Bitcoin transactions from Lightning Network channels. And Matt Hamilton wrote, it would be a bit like that if Lightning Network was actually used beyond a few geeks. You gotta love that here. So this MB Deagle guy, it's not logical. He has a narrative that he wants to be true. When presented with real cases of XRP being used, it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. You have to be buying a Coca-Cola with the XRP or it doesn't count, even though that's not an actual pain point for people the world over. That's why on top of Bitcoin technologically not being able to be used in place of money, people don't want to. Okay? It doesn't solve a freaking problem. My gosh. This is so stupid here. Let's move a little bit further. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon before the video gets too long here. Let me see. There was... here's another one. Okay. So in response to the original tweet from Leah Heilpern, Irish Girl Crypto wrote, because it's not even crypto, referencing XRP, of course, I honestly think it's just a way for bankers to snatch everyone's real crypto, like when the news told everyone to buy it at all-time high and even showed people how. They said it could only be bought with main crypto like Bitcoin, not fiat. Matt Hamilton responded, why do you pretend it is not even a crypto? Here's a formal definition of a cryptocurrency. Which part of this definition do you disagree with? And here's a screen grab of what he was talking about. I'm not going to read through it, but yeah, XRP is absolutely a cryptocurrency. It utilizes blockchain technology. You got your head in the sand if you are unaware or deny this. Like, it's just completely absurd, completely ridiculous. Where else could I jump in here? Maybe I should just go to the last one here. There is a little bit more I wanted to cover before wrapping up here. Actually, I'll read this part too. Somebody named Untether responded to Leia and wrote, I think a lot of the crypto community see it as a banker's coin, which is antithetical to what they believe it, replacing the traditional financial world. However, there is much more to the story and what Ripple is trying to do. You should talk to David Schwartz. Matt Hamilton responded, the irony being that XRP itself has nothing to do with banks, and the tagline, be your own banker, was first coined by the original Ripple Pay project before Bitcoin even existed. All right, here you go. Here's another one from Ninja Wazoo, responded to Leia's original tweet and wrote, I'm not sure it's much to do with ethics, but more to do with XRP Army Moonies that bleat on, but I don't know, maybe beat on is what they meant, but don't get mechanics of price and circulating supply. XRP just reeks of hopium versus general consensus noium of top crypto projects, which is funny there. So apparently we don't get it because there's so much supply. I hear that FUD. It's still getting circulated. And what's rich about that is it's actually this individual that doesn't understand that 100 billion XRP is not going to be some sort of factor that makes it impossible for XRP ultimately to be worth substantially more. It's the whole big market cap argument. It's garbage. I'm not going to get into it in this video. Matt Hamilton responded, though, if that argument were true, then why has XRP outperformed Bitcoin in price over the past 4 years? To which the Bitcoin Maxi troll responds, and then it proceeds to waddle under the bridge, waddles under the bridge, stays warm by its garbage fire, and eats its room temperature cottage cheese. That's what it does, man. And then here, I'm just gonna, I don't think I need to read through this whole thing, but it was fascinating here. Just to give you an idea of what people are doing, look at these trolls. So there's this guy named Shadow, and apparently his name was Cronus, but he just renamed it. You can do that on Twitter. You can just lickety split change your handle and your name. And so Matt Hamilton wrote here, anyway, Cronus, which is now Shadow, I'm going to block this account of you now to join all of your others. So here you have a Bitcoin Maxi troll who's making a ton of different accounts just spewing hate and nonsense about XRP. Somebody is actually, and this isn't a bot, like this is an actual human doing this. Do you see the venom that's coming from some people in the Bitcoin community? It's ridiculous. Go waddle under your bridge, eat your room temperature cottage cheese, and leave the adults alone. Ah, what a fun timer. That's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because if anything I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!